Namaste and hello everyone. Welcome back to my channel, the Metaphysical Library. In today's video, I'm going to share my TBR for the Halloween Readathon. Now, the Halloween Readathon is a 2-month readathon commencing from the 1st of September 2021, and it will continue till the 31st of October 2021. This readathon has been hosted by the DarkAcademiaBookClub, which is the brainchild of Nasya, and I will link her announcement video in the card above over here and in the description box below for you to cross-check. Now, there is a very fun bingo board which Nasya has created over here. I hope you can see this. And the criteria, there are only 2 criteria. The first criteria is either we try to go bingo with 4 books anywhere across, or direct or diagonal, etc., or we try, and the second option is that we try and read as many books we can to check off all the boxes on the bingo board, as well as we can double up, of course, on books, but we should read maximum of the books and complete all the prompts. So I have a massive TBR. Of course, the TBR which I've chosen, most of them do fulfill or can be doubled up as well on the prompts, but in case if I can't finish them, then obviously there's a prompt which can, or there's a book which could always double up on the prompt. So to know more, do please join me further in this video. first row vertical on the bingo board. So obviously the first prompt which we have already, or which I have already checked off, is classic literature spooky read. So for this I have already checked off Frankenstein. The second prompt is to read a non-fiction spooky read. So for this I have chosen to read Vampires, the Occult History by Konstantinos, and this is all about vampires, how they are related to the occult, and whether their existence is really authentic, and in case if they are authentic, what sort of vampires are there, and how they create themselves, what they need, what they don't need, etc. So I have been trying to get my hands on this book for quite some time, just out of curiosity, and this was the perfect prompt and the perfect readathon to read this particular book. Now, the third prompt is to read a dark academia book. So for this, I chose to read The Medusa Amulet by Robert Masello. And I really love the cover of this book. Now, from the back of the book, it reads as Florence, 1538. Artist Benvenuto Cellini creates the Medusa Amulet, a work of unimaginable power and menace. The amulet can grant immortality to any who stares into it on a moonlit night, but it soon falls into the wrong hands. Chicago, the present day. Art historian David Franco's beloved sister Sarah is dying. When a mysterious widow offers him $1 million to find the legendary amulet, David seizes the chance to pay off Sarah's medical bills and offer her a chance of survival. The result is a desperate race against time that will take him across centuries and continents, from the American archives to Renaissance courts, from the ramparts of the French Revolution to the dark depths of the Nazi Party. And there are others who have heard of the amulet's powers, and they will stop at nothing to find it. So this will be for the Dark Academia book. And the next prompt is to reread a favorite spooky read. So I did read this particular book by Siddharth Nirwan, who is an Indian doctor, and it's called The Last Witch Trial, and it's all about the witch trials which were conducted in the Indian villages in the early 1900s. So from the back of the book it reads as, in the cold winter of 1916, a young angelic woman is accused of being a witch and executed publicly after subjecting to a fabricated trial in a small town. A century later, a series of uncanny and brutal murders are harrowing the town. Few witnesses evince her return, who is back to avenge the savagery done on her. A young postgraduate visits the town to meet his frail uncle and finds himself collared in the midst of the haunting. A letter reveals the dark history behind the 1916 witch trial that links the nefarious act to his ancestry and leaves him aghast. He, with the aid of an occult science expert, must fathom the chiller to endure and salvage the town from perdition before it's too late. Based on the backdrop of innumerable witch trials that have resulted in the homicide of thousands of falsely accused women across the globe, The Last Witch Trial is a mystic thriller which disbands the frontier between science and supernatural, explicit and occult, and ruthlessly explores the social evil of witch hunting that is still rampant in India and other parts of the world. So that will be my choice for spooky reread. And the last prompt in this vertical row is a true crime, a book which is a true crime or is inspired by a true crime. So for this I have chosen to read The Devil in the White City by Erik Larson. I do really apologize, my ring light is actually shining on it. So from the back of the book it reads as, bringing Chicago circa 1893 to vivid life, Erik Larson's spellbinding bestseller intertwines the true tale of two men, the brilliant architects behind the legendary 1893 World's Fair, striving to secure America's place in the world, and the cunning serial killer who used the fair to lure his victims to their death. Combining meticulous research with nail-biting storytelling, Erik Larson has crafted a narrative with all the wonder of newly discovered history and thrillers of the best fiction. So now I'm going to try and navigate my way across second row horizontal across the bingo board. So the first is obviously a non-fiction spooky read, which I just checked out, which was The Occult Truth About the Vampires. And the second prompt is to read a book of spooky short stories. So I'm reading a book by Karan Pant Joshi, which says It Follows You. And it's a collection of short stories, and from the back of the book it reads as, be ready to meet your worst nightmare. A curse, an evil eye, a spell, or the demon, it follows you. In different forms, evil lurks at every corner, ready to follow you when you least expect it, waiting to take a macabre turn. 12 lives, multiple curses, one fear, traversing through the dingy lanes of the hinterland to busy streets of metro cities. These stories will tap your fears, make you question your beliefs, and leave you thinking, are you really alone? Somewhere in between the periphery of believe it or not, these 12 life experiences, the untold in unimaginable ways where evil follows them, choking, haunting and crushing their spirits, slithering into their dreams and trapping them, will they survive or scumble to evil? From the best-selling author of Check In, Check Out and Horrors Within comes a collection of 12 crisp, fast-paced and uncanny stories which will take you on a thrilling ride of mystery, adventure and horror. These stories will make your skin crawl and stay on your mind for a long time. You can't run, you can't hide. It follows where you reside. It follows your smell, your breath. It wants to see through your eyes and speak through your throat. Sucking you bit by bit, it stays till your existence ceases. Don't move a bone and don't turn back. So that would be my choice for a book of spooky short stories. Now, the next prompt is to read a book that mentions Halloween. So for this, I will be reading The Halloween Man. I'll try to put it up over here somewhere so that you can have a look about it. I'm not too sure about the plot of the story, but I heard it's quite sinister. So anyway, that's the book that I'm going to be reading. The fourth prompt is to read a book with murder. So for this, I have chosen to read Buried by Lizzie Strong. And this has just been released. It's a fairly new book, and from the back of the book it reads as, Quinn's mistake wasn't killing Leo Ashwood, it was bringing him back. Now, in a cat and mouse game with the monster she created, Quinn learns what her powers are truly capable of. Brought together by a vision, Cecilia and Quinn are entangled in the chase for Leo Ashwood. Cecilia, a seer who is known for sticking her nose into others' business for their better good, is now sent into a world unknown to her with no defense against the monster, her own powers and the budding feelings for Quinn. Maggie, however, was merely at the wrong place at the wrong time and left with no other choice but to join the forces. An up-and-coming YouTube superstar struck down by sickness, her voice is both her magical survival and death wrapped in one. These three young, untrained witches will have to lean on each other if they want to survive, navigating the world of humans, the new reality of witches, and the horror of magic. They might just make it if they can keep their secrets to themselves. So that will be my choice for the prompt, a book with a murder. The last prompt, which is the second row across, is to read a book with mythical creatures. So for this, I have chosen to read Sukanya Venkataraghavan's Dark Things. This is an Indian author, and from the back of the book, it reads as, somewhere on Prithvi, which is Earth, a mortal survives a supernatural attack. In the dark realm of Atala, which I believe is a realm, an evil goddess prepares to do the unspeakable, and a Yakshi is a supernatural being, finds herself at the heart of another worldly storm. Ardra has only known life as a Yakshi, designed to seduce and kill men after drawing out the deepest, darkest secrets for her evil mistress Hera, queen of the forsaken realm of Atala. Then, on one strange blood moon night, her chosen victim Dwayi survives and her world spins out of control. Now Ardra must escape the wrath of Hera, who is plotting to throw the universe into chaos. To stop her, Ardra needs to find answers to the questions she hasn't dared to ask before. What power does the blood moon hold? Is the sky city of Akasha as much a myth as its inhabitants, the ethereal and seductive Gandharvas and Apsaras. Now, Gandharvas are celestial musicians, Apsaras are celestial nymphs, Yakshis are celestial beings who may or may not be good for mankind. Who is Dara, the mysterious monster slayer, and what makes Dwai impervious to her powers? A heady concoction of fantasy and romance, Dark Thing conjures up a unique world wrought of love and sacrifice, of shadows and secrets, of evil and those who battle it. So this is for the prompt, a book of mythical creatures. Now, second row vertical. So the first two are already checked, a book in a series which was A Woman in Black, and a book of spooky short stories which is It Follows You. And the third in the row is, or the third prompt is, to read a book and watch a movie. So I am or will be doubling this up with The Woman in Black, because I will be watching this as well. The fourth prompt is to read a mystery book. So for this I have chosen to read A House of Bells by J.D. Croft, and from the back of the book it reads as: a secret always rings true. When the talented but desperate young governess Grace Meadows is offered a strange job from an eccentric medium and socialite, she never could have imagined what horrors she could discover. Tasked with caring for a troubled young girl who has lost the ability to speak, Grace must unravel the dangerous secrets lurking in the shadows of a rundown country mansion. As she grapples with her own demons and tries to reconcile the ghosts of the past and present, Grace must find a place to protect the girl from the unseen forces which now threaten both of their lives. There is a secret hidden in this mansion, one which somebody doesn't want discovered, and Grace soon learns that the mysterious silk and bells won't save her from everything. So that's the book. It sounds quite intriguing, a mystery. And the last prompt in the second row vertical is an urban legend. So for this I have chosen to read Anita Krishnan's Ghost of the Silent Hills, stories based on true hauntings. So this is actually quite interesting. I've heard a lot about this. Now, from the back of the book it reads as: the dead do not rest till they get what they want. You have arrived at the hills. In here you are surrounded by dense, menacing forests, enveloped in a deadly silence. You never know what lurks here in the cold, dark night. Do not walk alone after sunset in the hills. A beautiful woman in white haunts the lonely paths, looking to enchant and ensnare men. All people who died in accidents here, they say you hear their screams at night. And the deserted lodges, sitting amidst lush greenery and calm streets, spirit lie in wait here, ready to prey on the living. There are skeptics who did not heed these warnings. They tried to rationalize what they saw, what they felt, but when they came face to face with the beings they believed didn't exist, they couldn't run anymore. Ghosts of the Silent Hills is a collection that will make your nights a little scarier, encompassing the very spine-chilling stories based on true hauntings. So that will be my choice for the last prompt in second row vertical.